some lunch with him. This afternoon from Litchfield in Chicago, we welcome you to Big East Women's Soccer. At the DePaul Blue Demons, welcome in the Butler Bulldogs. It's Women's Soccer on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. Hello, welcome to our game broadcast. My name is Matt Menzel. Butler in town as they play their third of three consecutive on the road. They find themselves this week number 5 in the latest East Regional rankings and sporting a record of 6 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 tie, following their conference opening victory on Sunday in knocking off Seton Hall by the final score of 3-0. The hosting DePaul Blue Demons, they're back here at home with a record right now of 3 victories, 5 defeats, and a couple of draws. Looking to regroup after they lost their first conference opener since 2011. They fell on Saturday by a 2-0 score at Creighton. As for our players to watch with Butler, yes, they have some great offensive totals, but it starts with their defense, no different this season. And we turn to the defense to find redshirt junior Amanda Kowalski. Named this week's Big East Defensive Player of the Week, Kowalski part of a back line that thus far has recorded back-to-back shutouts and currently is sporting a shutout streak of over 248 minutes. She's also had an impact on the attack, having added 1 goal and 3 assists, with that 3rd assist coming on Sunday in the conference opening victory. Across the way, DePaul looking to find the back of the net as they've been shut out now in back-to-back contests. This is a team that's awfully young, not a single senior on their active roster. They've had some impact freshmen, including our player to watch in Kristen Bowes. Bowes currently tied for the team lead with 6 points, has scored 2 goals with 2 assists. Also is tied for 3rd, getting her first share of opportunities in the Big East with a total of 37 shots, a high of 7 in 1 game. However, injuries have taken their toll on the Blue Demons, and Bowes is no exception. She was lost to injury, did not play in the conference opener on Saturday. Is expected to give it a go here this afternoon, but just how many minutes she plays will be a wait and see. So we get set for the DePaul Blue Demons and the Butler Bulldogs. Butler has never won here at DePaul. Might today be their first? We'll find out next as we kick it off on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
65 degrees our game time temperature. We bring you back to Litchfield here in Chicago. Look at the Butler starting 11, a team that brought back 6 starters from last year. No changes from that of the conference opener on Sunday. The win at Seton Hall, 3-0. Butler being the only Big East team to win on the road this past weekend. You have Stephanie Rodriguez, who has taken over the goalkeeping responsibilities. Right now, offensively, it is Anya Savage who leads the way with a total of 6 goals, a couple of assists. But Katie Soderstrom has picked it up in the assist category. She is currently tops in the Big East with 7 helpers. Again, Butler coming in with the 6 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, and beaten over their last 3. As for the hosting, the Blue Demons looking for home victory number 1, 0-3-2 on this very field. Big question mark was whether or not Kristen Bowes would be in the starting 11. She is, in fact, in the lineup after missing the conference opener on Saturday at Creighton. Again, how many minutes she'll play, we'll have to wait and see. She's a regular as far as playing 90+, but Bowles is part of the starting 11 along with the likes of Morgan Turner, who leads the way with a total of 3 goals on the year. You also have Jade Erickson Russo, the junior from Naperville, Illinois, who comes in with 1 goal and 1 assist. Another veteran on that back line is Avery Hay. Defense typically a strong suit for the Blue Demons as well, although coming off a tough performance in that conference opener. Yes, the Blue Demons outshot Creighton 20-14, but allowed a goal in the 22nd minute. And the knockout punch came in the 78th as the Blue Jays able to knock off DePaul, their first conference opening loss since 2011. Now the Blue Demons trying to avoid an 0-2 start in conference play for the first time since 2010. For Butler, looking to continue what has been a strong last couple of years here in the Big East. Looking to win on this field for the first time. They find themselves 0-3-1 all time at DePaul. Bulldogs winning last year 2-1 in Indy. That was last October the 14th. The Blue Demons would strike first at a 1-0 halftime lead before Butler came out, scored twice in the final 45 minutes of play. Underway here at Litchfield. Glad to be along on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. Looking for that quick start. Butler, a possession-based attack. Looking to build out of the back, something DePaul's trying to deny. As a goal kick gets this game started with Molly Erickson, the starting goalkeeper at 5'7", the sophomore from Canada, coming off a year last year, which was a Big East all-freshman team honoree. But rhythm, tempo, the keys for the Butler approach to this one, and already knowing the obstacles that lay in front of them playing here at DePaul, one of the tougher venues to play for soccer, tighter surroundings, tough surface, plus you have the L that roars by every 5-10 minutes. For the Bulldogs, you have Morgan Klusterman, who's part of that midfield, a sophomore from Northville, Michigan. So getting the back line involved, left off by Julia Leonard, who's one of the local products from Palatine.
Oh, here we go, KD!
Katie Soderstrom nearly knocked away Jackie Batlander, part of that back line for DePaul. Offense has been a strong suit for Butler. They've scored a total of 21 goals this season. Numbers are up from years past, and they're generating, give or take, about 15 to 16 shots a game. But this is what they want to do. Right now, possession-based, just moving the ball around, getting a number of players' touches. Blue Demons trying to take it away, trying to disrupt that rhythm, but regained by Peyton Black. Sent into the Butler sideline. A sideline being patrolled by the co-head coaches of Terry St. John and Rob Allman, both back together for their 8th season, but for Coach St. John, this is their 14th season as the head coach for Butler. Husband-wife combo. Done a great job as the Bulldogs. Not only last year did they find themselves in second place, but found their way back into the Big East Tournament Championship. See the injury here. That's the last thing the Blue Demons want to see. They've already had an injury-filled start to this campaign. Brooke Weitzel slowly getting back up after Jade Erickson-Russo also with the turf. Sure, we'll talk more about it as we go along, but the Blue Demons already playing this season without one of their veterans in that back line, Adrian Walker. See the two teammates take each other out following the swing by Amanda Kowalski. Ellie Mink, who's been a key in that midfield, also out this season with a torn ACL. Depth, certainly a concern, as DePaul only played a total of 13 in their conference opener. They've played a total of 15 on a roster of 25. Dumped into the corner, and that by Peyton Black. Macy Miller has been playing awfully well. And again, the Blue Demons will send it out of play. We get to play a Macy Miller back for her senior season, a transfer at one point from Indiana. Coaching staff has talked about how she was a spark off the bench last year, has taken on an increased role, part of the starting 11, has taken a huge step, and from a confidence standpoint, her confidence from last year to this is night and day. Annika Schmidt on the Butler throw-in. Redshirt senior among 7 seniors on the Butler roster. And Schmidt, good distance, was trying to connect with Anya Savage, and now on that far side with Macy Miller. Nearly taken away by Sydney Parker, and now the Blue Demons looking to dump it back into midfield. On that far touchline, all kinds of congestion. Schmidt regained control for Butler, and again there's the possession. Kowalski, we mentioned she was named the Big East Defensive Player this week. 4th time the Bulldogs have had a Player of the Week already in the first month plus of this season. Soderstrom was the Offensive Player of the Week in late August. Miller was the Offensive Player of the Week first week of September, and then Schmidt was the Defensive Player of the Week back on the 26th of August. Maria Nordness on the throw-in for DePaul. Finally on their attacking end. Going back that direction, that from Kristen Bowes. Bowes on the touch. Totally about her shooting ability, not afraid to send it ahead and generating a good 4+ shots per game with a high of 7 on 2 separate occasions. Erickson will pick it up. Avery Hay slowing down Savage on the run. Savage part of the preseason All Big East team. She's had points in 7 of 10 games this season with an average close to 4 shots per game herself. On the takeaway by Macy Miller, but runs out of real estate. Able to jump in front of Nordness. And a stoppage here. We're going to see if a new soccer ball is needed. Perhaps that soccer ball that was in play at one point. Not enough air, and so it's going to be removed from the area and see if they pump that up before it gets put back into play. Meanwhile, a new ball thrown in by Nordness. Ball's being sandwiched by a couple of Bulldogs. See as Butler just swarms the ball and regains possession. Soderstrom had to take it right back away. We're going to open the field up a little bit. Jade Erickson-Russo. Oncoming Kowalski on the markup. Erickson-Russo, Kowalski. Jackie Batliner. Swinging it far side, headed away. Now both of these teams offensively going in opposite directions as of late. We mentioned Butler coming in with back-to-back shutouts. DePaul's been shut out now in back-to-back games. Again, the Bulldogs have not allowed a goal coming in over 248 minutes. As you check out this foul on Gwen Walker, has moved into more of a midfield role. DePaul comes into this game. They have not found the back net in the last 264+ minutes. Not since a 1-1 tie against Bowling Green back on September the 15th, overcoming a 1-0 deficit. Free kick for Kowalski. Very dangerous on set-piece delivery. And the reasons why she has herself 3 assists, including 1 on Sunday. Trying to find Savage, who was cutting down the middle. Blue Demons looking to counter, not much on the pass, and it's regained by Wood. Went over towards Schmidt, knocked out a play by Avery Hay. Big East freshman of the year was Avery Hay back in 2016. In fact, these two teams have produced the last 3
Yeah, it's right in front of the
Big East freshmen of the year. Annika Schmidt running throw into the 18. Soderstrom will give way. Ball possessed by Wood. And back into the corner. Miller on the chase. But the offside flag went up here against Butler. Early on here in this first half, that ball's been on the right side of midfield for a good majority. Trying to feed that ball into the corner to Macy Miller. And she has 3 goals with the 5 assists. Coming through with an assist in each of the first 3 games, and then coming through with an assist against Kent State back on September the 15th. But her numbers are up from that of last year when she came off the bench and provided a couple of helpers, including an assist on a game-winning goal against Creighton. Batliner. Defense drops back. Morgan Turner looking to send it across. On that far side. How to play it goes with a Blue Demon slow and getting back up. Watch this one more time with Morgan Turner looking to send it across. Right there with Bina Saipi, but off to the right of that far post. Saipi appears to be all right, but having the wind knocked out of her. One of the more experienced players on this Blue Demons young roster. We mentioned not a single senior. And for Saipi, a redshirt junior, she redshirted the 2017 season. Came back last year and was a regular on the field. So far this year has played every second, every minute, every game, and is looking for her first point after she came through with a couple of helpers last year. Look at Stephanie Rodriguez, the starting goalkeeper for Butler, the 5'6" junior. She too here from Illinois. That ball headed by Morgan Klusterman. Savage going back along that far sideline.
Okay.
Off the one touch from Macy Miller. Again, trying to put Kristen Bowles in motion. And this being her first appearance since the Sanford game back on September the 19th. That was a 0-0 draw for the Blue Demons. Coming through with 7 shots in that game, also had 7 shots in their opener. A loss against Milwaukee. Schmidt, at one point a transfer from UConn, now back for her 3rd year with the Bulldogs. She too was a preseason All-Big East honoree. Has that strong throwing ability, and Butler strong in the air. Good pressure on the backside involving Sydney Parker. Headed away by Saipi. Savage pointed out. Kowalski. Brought in here by Molly Erickson. Erickson with a 1.05 goals against average, 6th in the Big East. Also sports a 74 save percentage. Was the Big East goalkeeper of the week back on September the 16th. That came shortly after a nice upset win against Kansas. They were number 11 at the time. They're now ranked 21st in the nation. That's maybe the puzzling aspect of this season right now for head coach Erin Chastain. She said when you look at the strengths of this team, you know, it's hard to pinpoint one area because they've been so inconsistent. They've had some great performances and then they've had some disappointing performances, and I think she would characterize the conference opener as disappointing because she said, if you would have asked me what our strengths were going into that game, I would have said defense. And she said going back the last couple of weeks, strung together some nice defensive performances, but then all of a sudden, a disappointing conference opener. Now looking to regroup here in this first home match in league play against a Butler team that has been a good rival for DePaul. But as mentioned, not been able to win yet in Chicago. Savage. Couple of players getting tangled up. Batliner turning Soderstrom around. Jade Erickson Russo. Really taken away there by Aliyah Dien, a freshman from Germany. Black looking to stick with it. Down went Saipi and a foul going against Black. See the sequence. Gwen Walker getting knocked down, and then down went Saipi upon the attack with Peyton Black. It will come through with a goal, her first, that on Sunday. Been part of the starting 11 over the last now 5 games, 9 games overall this season. Now the Blue Demons with a foul of their own. Julia Leonard off the pass to Klusterman, right back to Leonard. And the throw coming up here for DePaul, making the first substitution of the match.
Substitution for DePaul when the game number 18.
As Megan Maleka comes in replacing Maria Nordness. Maleka starting to see more minutes as the season has progressed and progresses. It's all coming after she was hampered by concussion to start the campaign, and she's been playing well, and because she's been playing well, coaching staff has rewarded her with more playing time. This in all being her 7th match appearance, has 1 start. Ended up playing a good 67 minutes in the opener at Creighton on Saturday. But she typically is one of the first players, at least as a late off that bench, along with Jessica Lazo. Like to see her at some point. She can double defender or forward. Had a couple of shots in the matchup on Saturday. Soderstrom. Here's Kowalski. Coaching staff calls her a top-class ball striker. Nice pass here to the 18, but when they get behind the ball, it's knocked out of the possession of Klusterman. Fine pressure there by Brooke Whitesell, and a throw coming up for the Bulldogs. Again, you have Schmidt. We're now trying to organize the attack, looking to push a couple of players back. Here's Soderstrom come back for the ball. So that was headed out by Parker. All the way out to midfield, Leonard. He's win it back near side. And flying over, Batliner will head out of play, denying the connection with Annika Schmidt. Schmidt right now asking for a different ball. See the traffic directly in front of Molly Erickson, and including Macy Miller. Kowalski able to head it back to Leonard. Good run being made by Kristen Bowes. Up the near touchline off Schmidt. And Gwen Walker skips off the clue to Jade Erickson Russo. Well, deflected off a Bulldog first, and so DePaul will keep possession. A look there at Gwen Walker. As mentioned, she was more of a defender side by side with her sister Adrian last year, but has moved in more of a midfield role this her junior season. Has taken on more of an offensive approach the last now couple of matchups. Has six shots on the year, 3 in each of the last now 2 games. And she has played 90 plus in all but 1 match so far this campaign. Bowes going to turn inward against Kowalski. Good matchup there. Our 2 key players. Walker, Bowes, trying to find the space, and Kowalski looking to slow her down. You can see a wind-up attempt, or at least thinking about winding up, not to be. Then outside with Whitesole, but a Butler foul and a dangerous opportunity coming up here for the Blue Demons just outside the 18. Saw Bowes getting clipped. That by Amanda Kowalski. So this from the 18 to be taken by Kristen Bowes. 4-player wall right now for the Bulldogs, as we have played just over 15 first half minutes. Bowes over the wall, deflected away by Stephanie Rodriguez. Another look as Bowes over the wall, timed it perfectly, and Rodriguez will dive her right and bat it away. DePaul corner kick. This for the Blue Demons, 43rd corner of the year. Batliner gonna go far post. Headed up and out. And Bowes along that far side. But a couple of looks here on that sequence for the Blue Demons. This one stays scoreless. Rodriguez right now 4th in the Big East with a 0.97 goals against average. Also finds herself in the top 10 with a 75 save percentage. Jumped through with 4 shutouts on the year. Takeaway by Jade Erickson Russo. Bowes looking to get the bend. Does! And DePaul takes a 1-0 lead. Kristen Bowes on the goal. And it comes 16:47 into this first half. Able to tuck it upper 90 to the left of Stephanie Rodriguez. And the Blue Demons striking first with their 8th goal on the year. And so after failing to score for the last 281 minutes, there's their first goal since September the 15th. And Butler giving up their first goal since September the 15th. What injury? Kristen Bowes, who was out from the conference opener, was expected to play, and again the question mark was just how many minutes would she be able to give the Blue Demons. She's used to giving close to 90. Looking for a quick response header by Peyton Black, and a goal kick here for the Blue Demons.
Once again, the Blue Demon goal was by
Not only is
Kristen
Bowes
give the assist to Jade
able to give it a
Erickson
go, but
Russo.
part of the starting 11, and so far she has played Each of the first now almost 18 minutes. Records her third goal, tied for the team lead, and Jade Erickson-Russo picks up her second assist. Down went Morgan Turner. Ball was able to keep the attack alive. Another opportunity goes wide. Boy, she already is near, if not at her average, close to 4 shots a game. Totally as many as 7 in the contest on 2 separate occurrences. Makes a lot happen. Able to generate the attack, able to find the opening there to take from a good distance. But one of those impact fresh moves come on and made a smooth transition. Even though this Blue Demons team has had some struggles and finds themselves below 500, a lot to be excited about. And Coach Aaron Chastain said this is a team, yes, maybe they've been inconsistent, but still every match they've had good energy. They've been competitive. Leah Dean, the injured Bulldog, following this collision with Avery Hay. Athletic trainer coming out to check on the freshman Dean. Yeah, but the energy's been there. They've been competitive. It's a young team, and the approach right now for the Blue Demons is simple, and it's typical coach talk. You take it one game at a time, but for the Blue Demons, that's exactly what their focus is, one game at a time. And if they take it one game at a time and they find success, and they are able to put it all together, this is a team that feels like they could have a lot of season left. They've been challenged already with a tough non-conference schedule, so a lot of these younger players have been forced to grow up quickly. They're hoping it pays off here in this tough Big East conference. Not able to strike first in this one against Butler. They're trying to quickly erase what was Saturday. See Leah Dean being helped off. And a date for the Bulldogs, unlike DePaul,
Substitution in for Butler, number 15, Celia
Butler has stayed
Gaynor.
relatively healthy. The exception being Cassidy Blaka, who went down with an injury back in the spring, so they had some time to prepare for the senior being lost to injury. Celia Gaynor taking the spot of Dean. Gaynor's been one of the regulars now off the bench after she had started the first 7 matchups. Back is the sophomore from Shelby Township, Michigan. Wood will throw it in for the Bulldogs. They're looking for their first shot of this one despite some good possession to start. First 3 credited shots belong to the Blue Demons, and venturing to guess all 3 for Kristen Bowes. That deflected off the shoulder of Peyton Black. Savage on the pass. And knocked away there by Saipi, now making a run for DePaul. Going to send it wide. Going to beat Butler at their own game, and that's where the Bulldogs have excelled this season, is playing it wide. And the wide play that includes Soderstrom and Miller. Left back here by Gaynor. Kowalski splitting a couple of Blue Demons. See for the Bulldogs, look to build it out of the back, build the attack out of the back, and backline heavily involved as Wood makes her run. Trying to cut back in, Macy Miller, and played back here by Saipi. Knocked out of the air, but that's for the Butler, silent control by the Bulldogs. Schmidt. A wide pass, that deflects off Soderstrom. Lead feed, Gainer. Picked up here by Erickson. Nice job defensively to get back. In this case, Sidney Parker slowing down the Bulldog run by Celia Gainer. Last year when these teams got together, Erickson with a 5-save, 2-goal allowed performance. But like this game, last year it was DePaul who was able to strike first. Bulldogs made some adjustments, came out and put together a strong second half in which they outshot the Blue Demons 11-1. Got a goal in the 54th, and the game winner was scored by Soderstrom in the 88th. Savage had the assist, and the Bulldogs were able to come away with a 2-1 result. They find themselves unbeaten over the last two against DePaul, who all-time lead the season in a series history with 4 victories, a couple of defeats with a couple of draws. Soderstrom. Last time these teams played on this field was a 1-1 draw. That's the only result Butler has been able to record at Wish Field. Annika Schmidt. Lofty throw that flies over the head of Savage. Only for Schmidt to throw it back in. It's 1-0 Blue Demons. That being a goal by Kristen Bowes, assisted by Jade Erickson-Russo. Bowes. Here against Kowalski. Up the right side with Weitzel. Gonna get around Wood. Sun starting to peek out. That's a welcome sight as this ball sent into the 18. A nice fall day here at Wish Field after rainy last couple of days. Not even a small chance for precipitation here today. Good one here for the Blue Demons. We're looking for home victory number 1. At times it's been a tough place to play. DePaul went 5-2-2 on this field last year. Have not been able to pick up a home victory yet with games against Milwaukee, SMU. Had Purdue, Bowling Green, and Sanford come through here. Some big ones in the Big East coming up too that will take place in this very field, including the Georgetown Hoyas coming here on the 24th of October. Jade Erickson-Russo just missed on the hookup with Morgan Turner. Turner, number 2 on the team last year with 5 goals. After she had a 4-goal freshman year, being named to the Big East All-Freshman team. Macy Miller knocked away. It was sent out off of Megan Maleka. Now a couple of players spoken to, that being Batliner for DePaul along with Savage for Butler. Schmidt. Corner kick awarded to the Bulldogs.
It'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs.
This will be their first of the game. And now the 69th on the year, which is second best in the Big East. Soderstrom on the Butler corner.
Like Anya Savage taking the kick.
Again, coming in with 7 assists. Had 2 in the opener against Moorhead State, at 2 in the second matchup against IUPUI. Scored a goal on a Sunday, her first since scoring against Michigan State back on September the 5th. Right now, a couple of players getting tangled up just outside the goal line and being separated. Soderstrom will get the running start, looking to bend it. Out it comes, and lifted Kowalski out of play. Another substitution here for the Blue Demons.
Substitution for the Blue Demons into the game, Mary Tierney.
Mary Tierney will sub in. Here's another look at that corner.
Goal.
Looking closest post with Savage, and out it came with Kowalski lifting it out of play. Look there at Tierney, able to play through despite having the club on that right hand. It's part of the starting 11 on Saturday for the first time since September 1st at Dayton, but now coming off the bench again. Last year started a little bit as well, but for the most part she was about the second or third to come from the sideline. Now back for a sophomore year from Kentucky. Kowalski pointed short. Wood. Now the Blue Demons look at a hurry up downfield, trying to catch the Bulldogs in transition. Kowalski will get back. Leonard dumping onto the attacking end that gets by the sliding bat liner. Savage coming to the near side will hand it off for the Soderstrom throw-in. Savage last year the Big East freshman of the year, second team all Big East after coming through with 7 goals, 3 assists. Came through with 3 game winners. Had the assist on the game winner that was scored by Soderstrom against DePaul last October. Kowalski. Savage sent back out. Waiting back with Schmidt. Lifted there by Tierney at the feet of Jade Erickson Russo. Trying to control it. I was giving right back to Batliner. Alana Wood. Now Julia Leonard. She was part of the Big East all-freshman team a couple of seasons back. Anchor that back line. And again, defensively, that's been Butler's calling card the last number of years. Go back to 2017, number 3 in the nation, and total goals allowed with a total of 7, 16 shutouts. Last year allowed 20 goals, came through with 9 shutouts, and this year they've now got up a total of 11. Will be denied a 5th shutout this campaign. Macy Miller. On the move there with Wood.
Nice job, Sid!
Butler throws that one right there at the feet of DePaul head coach Erin Chastain, back now for her 13th season. 3rd head coach in program history. And back in December was announced that her contract extended through the 2023 season. In fact, both of these coaching staffs receiving contract extensions during the offseason. Miller. Butler with a corner kick will be their second now of the matchup. And again, we'll see this handled by Katie and Soderstrom. It's 1-0 DePaul, trying to avoid an 0-2 conference start for the first time since 2010.
Taking a kick is
Butler trying to get to 2-0. Last year they started 3-0 in conference play, with their best start since joining the Big East in 2013. Soderstrom around Bina Saipi. A stoppage here is one of the assistant referees noticed something in the box. A couple of players again getting tangled up and again being told to separate. And the corner kick again for Soderstrom.
Watch your near post! Coming at you, Sid!
Goal kick, Blue Demons. Inside of 15 minutes left here in this first half. Look there at Katie Soderstrom, the coaching staff for the Bulldogs, talking about her play this season as being brilliant. How she has blossomed into the player that they thought she'd be. As a freshman, spending some time finding herself at this level, a couple of different roles. now starting to understand how to apply her strengths, trusting in her game. She too is seeing her confidence level soar and being used much more weight on her shoulders, and she's been able to excel with the expanded role. Many thought, coming in, this Bulldog team brought back 15 of 27 who played last year, predicted second in the Big East, that I don't want to say it would be a cakewalk. It'd be a matchup essentially between Butler and Georgetown to determine who would bring home the Big East regular season championship. And certainly a lot of high expectations surrounding this Bulldog program. Last year they lost in the Big East championship final against Georgetown by a 1-0 score. Found their way in that same position a couple of years ago. But Butler graduated a very talented senior class, which included, of course, Paige Monahan, who was drafted 10th overall in the 2018 NWSL draft by Sky Blue FC and had a great first season in the NWSL. Impact player there, along with Hallie Stelbaski, who scored a goal last year against the Blue Demons. We'll add more here, but brought in by Stephanie Rodriguez. And then Rodriguez having to replace not one but two goalkeepers. The Bulldogs typically started Hannah Litke, and then thereafter would bring in Leonie Duga. She'd come on and play in the second halves of games. She was a 2017 Big East Freshman of the Year, a product from Germany. So a very talented, large class graduated, and so it took some of these younger players a little bit of time here to grow into their expanded roles. At that transitional period, as coaching staff put it, took a little while, and now starting to play some of their better soccer here as conference play gets started. But they truly feel like this is not a finished product. Moving in a great direction by no means is Sunday's convincing 3-goal victory at Seton Hall any indication of where this team is at. Coaching staff feels like there's still some work to be done, but certainly they like where they're at, and looking to build off what they started, coming out with a aggressive offensive defensive game plan and able to implement almost to a T that game plan. Not letting their foot off the gas even despite jumping in front early by a couple of goals. But now finding themselves down a goal. Throwing here for Batliner. And out of bounds before the save attempt by Mary Tierney. That Jade Erickson-Russo has picked up an assist in this matchup on that far attacking end. After the DePaul foul put back into play here by the Bulldogs, Soderstrom. Schmidt. Morgan Turner. Haven't talked a lot about Turner yet for the Blue Demons, but Coach Chastain said that she has raised her level of play and playing awfully well right now. It's coming after Turner last year. 5 goals and a couple of assists. All those 5 goals, she had a couple of game winners, plus had a hat trick and a route a UMass Lowell. Tierney faked inside, works outside around Kowalski. Had Erickson-Russo. Now on the far side, there's a DePaul goal. Talking about Morgan Turner. And a 2-0 lead for the Blue Demons. Morgan Turner has Mary Tierney just over that of Jade Erickson-Russo, but on the back end, Turner, who's been playing well, gets just enough of this ball to send it in for the 2-goal lead. And Morgan Turner with her team-leading 4th goal of the season Mary Tierney on the assist. Their first point of this season. She had 1 goal and a couple of assists last year, including an assist at Butler to Mary Tierney last year as a freshman.
Once again, the Blue Demon goal by
Just talking about Morgan Turner raising her level of play. And right side there, the receiving end after the ball. Flew over the head of Jade Erickson-Russo. That's Turner's first goal since scoring against Bowling Green on the team's matchup on September the 15th. At the time, tying that game at 1, which would be the end result. So now Butler finds himself in an unfamiliar spot. Not often this season they've been down a couple. This is just the now second time. Last time they lost, they fell behind 2-0 and ended up losing 2-1 against Illinois on September the 12th. That was a home loss, which ended the Bulldogs' unbeaten at home streak of 24. With their first home loss of losing at home to DePaul back on October 6th of 2016 by a 1-0 final.
Substitution for the Blue Demons. Coming to the game.
There's a look at Jessica Lazo. Now one of the Blue Demons 11. Her second year with the Blue Demons, transferred in after her freshman year at Kentucky. Morgan Turner, the goal scorer, will head off. We near halftime with a 2-goal Blue Demons advantage. The most goals that DePaul has scored in the game since scoring 2 in the Red Line rivalry victory against Loyola back on September 12th. That, by the way, being their season high. This is their season high, matching it for goals in the game. Looking to add more, though. Saipi looking to walk it in. Went far post, just missed the post. And a Butler goal kick. Ina Saipi. Really getting her first goal since her freshman season in 2016. Stephanie Rodriguez. Only had to make a couple of saves against Seton Hall on Sunday. The defense limiting the Pirates to a couple of shots on goal, but also was a 15-2 corner kick advantage for Butler. I know since this game started, when Butler had great possession and had the ball on this right side of midfield, DePaul's been able to disrupt that. That was the game plan coming in. Looking to disrupt the Bulldogs' rhythm, not allowing them to play out of the back. In this case, forcing Kowalski up. Batliner. Pass to the outside from Black. Here's Macy Miller. And Miller back up that left side. Wood. Maleka gets some help from Sydney Parker, who came over. This will be a goal kick for the Blue Demons. So a 2-goal lead for DePaul as we play on this Thursday afternoon just outside downtown Chicago in Lincoln Park. Whitfield the site, conference matchup number 2 for each. Kristen Bowes and Morgan Turner each have scored for the Blue Demons. Turner with her team best 4th. Bowes is number 2 now with 3. Together they have 7 of the team's 9. Parker here against Savage. Off Parker and out of bounds for a Butler corner. Corner kick number 3 for the Bulldogs. We have seen Soderstrom on the corner. No different here. There's Savage in front along with Peyton Black. Savage is 5'10", one of the taller players on this Butler roster. And again, a couple of players getting tangled up, and the head official watching the far post closely. That's Black trying to create some separation, comes out toward the ball, heads it. but out of bounds. Set off of Peyton Black. Five minutes left here in this first half. It's one of a couple of games going on right now by the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. Georgetown at Villanova with the rest of the conference getting underway later on tonight. Next batch of games will begin at 7 Eastern. Hoya's off to a 7-2-1 start, 1-0 in conference play. They've won 5 consecutive. And right now ranked 11th in the nation, number 1 in the East region. Villanova in that game, they're 1-0. Coming through with a 1-0 victory against Xavier. They're 5-3-2 overall. Villanova number 6 in the regional rankings. Wood knocked away Erickson. In front, that's gonna roll on in. And Butler on the scoreboard. So watch this one more time. Erickson deflected it.
Number 2, Katie Soderstrom.
And then Katie Soderstrom credited with the goal right there to tap it in. But Erickson still trying to get back to her feet. Alana Wood swung it in initially, and Erickson getting a piece, but then against Soderstrom, scoring for a second consecutive year against the Blue Demons, has Butler on the scoreboard here right before halftime. Hard foul against Peyton Black. Soderstrom with her 5th goal of the season, that's second best on the team. Has now scored in back-to-back games. Batliner. Lazo had it knocked away. Gwen Walker, Jade Erickson-Russo. And a goal kick here for the Bulldogs, who are on the board off their 22nd goal on the year. Katie Soderstrom with that goal. I mentioned that finish on Sunday was her first goal since back on September the 5th. It was a 3-0 home victory against Michigan State. But again, continuing to produce in what has been, again, is deemed a brilliant campaign for Soderstrom. Score off both feet. Not only can she score, but even the quality of service. Registering what is right now a conference best 7 assists. Headed by Avery Hay. Out of midfield, and Tierney able to leave it for Batliner. On coming to Soderstrom. Tierney, Batliner, around Kowalski. Lazo to the end line. Schmidt. And a goal kick here again for Butler. Thus far, a couple of saves credited to Stephanie Rodriguez. Out it came with Brooke Weitzel. They'll fly over the DePaul sideline. So good response here to end this first half for Butler, getting a goal from Katie Soderstrom in the right spot for that rebound putback. Shots right now unofficially are at 6-2 in favor of the Blue Demons. Last couple of shots for Butler.
1 minute left in the half, 1 minute.
Been able to generate a couple of shots here down the stretch. Look here for Kowalski. Erickson will bring in, no rebound this time, opportunity for Soderstrom. Out of Carmel, Indiana, and Soderstrom, when you go back to your high school days, a two-time All-American, 142 career points. And you're talking about a lot of points there, but that's fifth most in school history. The most hat tricks in one season, most consecutive hat tricks in one season, and the most assists in a single game. Some of the records she does in fact hold. Annika Schmidt asking for a new ball, and
10,
the final 10 seconds will tick off.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
So a strong start for the Blue Demons
1.
as they jumped in front by a 2-0 score, but Butler able to end the first half on a high with a goal scored by Katie Soderstrom. In this Big East battle, it's 2-1 DePaul at the break. Our halftime report is coming up as we continue from Wishfield. You're tuned into women's soccer on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
Reminder, folks, at halftime, DePaul's award-winning concession stand will be open. Popcorn, peanuts.
Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't, driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants have played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with a passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
and you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
It's 2-1 DePaul to break over at Butler here at Wishfield. Let's head back to our Big East studios for a recap for last week's Big East soccer action.
Welcome into the Big East Fall Sports Update. I'm Megan Caffrey, joined alongside John Fanta. Women's soccer wrapped up their first weekend of conference play, and so we're officially in full swing of fall sports conference play.
Several clean sheets, and the teams that were picked near the top of the conference poll lived up to their billing. Georgetown handling business, Butler going on the road and winning 3-0. I'm curious to see those two teams are so strong defensively. Who's going to be able to score on them? It's going to be fascinating to see throughout league play.
You were also on the call for the Villanova game. What stood out to you in that game?
This was a game that Xavier dictated in the first half. Musketeers came out, they outshot Villanova 5-1, and they play a 3-5-2 system, which is different. It creates a wrinkle in the league, and Nate Lee's done a really nice job there. Already 7 wins on the season. But Villanova can get you quickly on the counterattack, and Bryce McEnroy struck. Tennessee transfer. So you think about she comes over from the SEC, and she's given Villanova's offense a boost, leading the team with 5 goals on the year. And for Xavier on the other side, Megan, they have a crucial weekend. Home to Creighton, home to Seton Hall. You have got to have short memory in this conference.
Now, John, you mentioned Butler's defense a little bit before, but what stood out to me this weekend was their offense. They had a 3-0 win over Seton Hall, and an interesting stat to me that stands out is in the conference, they're just behind Georgetown in goals per game that they're averaging. Georgetown is averaging just over 2.5, and Butler's right behind them just over 2 goals per game. So I think their offensive power is really coming into play right now.
They have 5 players with 2 or more goals this season. So Butler has that versatility offensively, and Anya Savage leads them. That's why they've been the bridesmaid to Georgetown. We'll see if there's another team. Now, I'm curious to see the Hoyas this weekend. They are at Villanova, against a Villanova team that has some momentum, and then they're at Providence. Friars will make you work for what you get offensively.
John, and another team who had a big start to conference play were the Creighton Blue Jays. They beat DePaul 2-0 for their first time ever.
This Creighton team put it all together in non-conference play, but you still were asking, could they do it in Big East play? Because they've never qualified for the Big East tournament. they have a star freshman in Skylar Heinrich who has delivered. You think about her, and you think about the Big East Goalkeeper of the Week and Lauren Sullivan. Right now, the Jays are a really formidable team that is right in the thick of things in the Big East.
And I actually talked to Skylar a little bit earlier this week to get her thoughts on her first season in Big East play. We now welcome into the Big East Fall Sports Update, Creighton freshman forward Skylar Heinrich. Skylar, your team opened up conference play with a 2-0 win over DePaul. How did that set up your team to succeed?
Well, we're very excited. You know, we just played 2 games in Florida, and coming back and being able to win back on the home turf was really exciting, and it just pushes us forward to now go into Xavier and want to do even better.
What have the upperclassmen on your team prepared you for in now you're starting to get in the thick of conference play?
They just tell you to like calm down and like relax, because obviously there's more pressure because we have to win a certain amount of games, but they said just calm down and like play your game, and like we've been doing great all season, so might as well just keep it going.
Speaking of playing your game, Skylar, you lead your team with 8 goals on the season so far. You're a freshman. How have you been able to come in at this level and succeed right away?
It's kind of crazy. Like I just wanted to come in and play, get minutes, and then being able to start was extremely like exciting for me. And then my team just kept uplifting me. Like, you can keep
these road swings. What's the preparation like?
We try to keep like the same preparation every single time, just to keep it all the same, like not switch it up. Like we always do film, we always do scouting, we keep the same routine and just always being together. Like we're together for like 5 days like straight. Like it's just we keep it light and keep it fun. Like still like we go and do things like out of soccer, like we'll go and like visit some places, like we went to the beach in Florida, so like just trying to keep it like as lighthearted and then serious when it needs to be.
Best of luck, and thank you so much for joining me, Skylar.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, John, Big East men's soccer is into week 2 of conference play for them. 3 teams are left at 2-0. Who is standing out to you right now?
St. John's and Marquette, and they're going to square off on Friday night at Valley Fields in a big one. The Johnnies, to go into conference play and start out 2-0, that's a validation that they are for real and that they are deserving of the top 15 ranking. They had the win over NC State, but we didn't get a great sampling beyond that in their non-conference slate. They've proven themselves. So now I'm interested to see Skage Simonson, Tani Olawashe, that star-studded attack go up against Marquette's Jackson Wayman. The redshirt freshman keeper is going to get tested on Friday night, but a big opportunity for the Golden Eagles. They went 2 Xavier in 1. That's a tough place to win. I'm shocked that Xavier's 0-2 in this league. So I'm really paying attention to Marquette hosting St. John's. Opportunity knocks for the Golden Eagles because 3 of their next 4 in conference play after this game Friday night will be on the road. You have got to treasure your home games. I think for Marquette that's important, and I think for Seton Hall it's really important against Creighton on Friday night. That's an opportunity. If the Pirates want to make a move in this league, they have got to try to take advantage at home.
Now, John, how about Georgetown? They're 5th in the country right now. They've only given up 5 goals all season. And speaking of freshmen, their freshman goalkeeper, Thomas Romero, has 4 wins on the season. He's only let 2 goals get by him.
I watched Romero play in the USL over the summer, so he was already getting some big-time spotlights. And now this kid's come in as a freshman and just delivered in the biggest of ways. Georgetown has a lethal attack. They now have a freshman keeper who's getting it done. They are a legitimate College Cup contender, and I think the reigning conference tournament champions deserve that idea that everybody's got to pursue them, because until they let go of that trophy, it's Georgetown at the top of this league.
John, let's now shift over to volleyball on the BEDN this week. DePaul heads to Butler. We also have Creighton taking on St. John's. There's a lot of critical matchups that are coming up for squads.
That Creighton-St. John's one is the one that stands out in Queens, because out of the Big East road test for the Blue Jays next to Marquette, I would put St. John's right there. The Red Storm were able to pull off a win over Oregon in non-conference play, and they look like a team that can be in the conference tournament in Milwaukee Thanksgiving weekend. So for this St. John's team, they could give Creighton some challenges. It'll be an intriguing one to watch on ESPN3 this weekend.
And there are so many games for you to tune into this weekend on the Big East Digital Network. Volleyball, men's soccer, women's soccer. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in with us for the second half of your game.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't, driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants have played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with a passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
and you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
It's 2-1 DePaul on top of Butler here at the break. We get set for half number 2, but first let's check out some of the highlights from the opening 45 minutes. A first half they would see Butler at least start with possession, but DePaul able to come right back, able to generate some scoring opportunities, going that far side. Morgan Turner with some nice looks. See a touch here by Gwen Walker. Kristen Bowes, who missed the conference opener with injury, able to come back on this free kick, batted away by Stephanie Rodriguez, one of her 2 saves. Passing, though, something to talk about in Bowes. Look at this bend. Able to score the first goal of the game, assisted by Jade Erickson-Russo. Third of the year for Bowes. Erickson-Russo's second assist. At times physical, although only 9 combined fouls between the two. See Aaliyah Dean having to leave the game with injury, replaced by Celia Gaynor. Watch this move by Mary Tierney. Over the head of Erickson-Russo, but the far side sent in by Morgan Turner. That giving the Blue Demons a 2-0 lead, but a response here for Butler right before the end of the first half. Right spot there. Just out of picture. Katie Soderstrom got enough of it to send it in upon the initial swing by Alana Wood. It's a 2-1 score at the break. Take a look at the first half numbers. And again, DePaul up right now in shots at 6-2. 4-1 Blue Demons in shots on goal. 3-1 Butler in corner kicks. And then we mentioned the 9 combined fouls. A first half that would produce a couple of saves for Rodriguez. No saves with 1 goal allowed for DePaul goalkeeper Molly Erickson. For the Blue Demons, trying to avoid their first 0-2 conference start since 2010. Butler trying to win at DePaul for the first time. 0-3-1 at Whitfield. All 10 Big East teams in action here today, and all 5 matchups can be seen here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. And after 1 weekend of play, the only road team that was victorious was Butler, winning at Seton Hall. And you see Georgetown, Creighton, Butler, Providence, Villanova all at 1-0. Xavier, DePaul, Marquette, St. John's, and Seton Hall all in bounce-back mode. Seton Hall is at St. John's tonight with Creighton at Xavier and Providence at Marquette. Currently going on as well at the moment. Yeah, Georgetown at Villanova. We'll see what halftime adjustments are made, but this is a Blue Demons team that's been known to get off to some quick starts out of halftime. And their upset of Kansas back on September 6th, able to score a goal 26 seconds out of halftime. And then against Bowling Green back on September 15th, came out and scored 19 seconds out of halftime. But most of their damage, at least coming in, they had not scored a single goal in the first half. Most of their damage, all their damage, done pretty much from second half on. And so we'll see if they're able to tack on more and fend off a Butler rally attempt. Bulldogs Looking for more possession, looking to generate some more quality opportunities. Again, limited to a single shot on goal. It went in. Out of the back already with Kowalski, and we saw the Bulldogs, at least to start the game, good possession within the first, give or take, 10 minutes, but thereafter, things opened up a little bit. And even with all that possession, not much to show for it on the stat sheet. That for Butler. Batliner on a DePaul throw-in. Have to wait and see, too, just how many more minutes Bowes can give the Blue Demons. That was a big question mark with her status, what she would be able to give to the team, and so far she's given all 45-plus minutes. And she's been playing awfully well and has been able to create about 3 or 4 shots by herself. Rodriguez, who came off back-to-back shutouts. Bowes, there against Leonard. Able to challenge, and in turn that keeps the possession with the Blue Demons. Megan Maleka. Start here in this second half. We'll go back to Turner, who's back out there. Sat for the last few minutes or so of that first half. But Morgan Turner able to come through with her 4th goal of this season. She has now scored a career total of 13. Kloosterman, we're going to play it wide. That's something Butler has not really been able to do is play wide, play it out. That's a big part of their game plan, a big part of their success. Over with Julia Leonard. Schmidt. Bowles with some pretty good pressure yet again, forcing the directional change there by Schmidt. Leonard. Kloosterman, again, not much room to maneuver. And Butler knew that if they were to find success, they would have to find a way to break down. It's usually a sturdy back line for DePaul. Shot will go wide from Macy Miller. But trying to find a way to break down this DePaul defense. So far, the Blue Demons have been able to execute their game plan and disrupting the rhythm and not allowing much play out of the back, or at least quality play out of the back. Bowes. Here's Turner. Another Blue Demons throw-in to be handled by Megan Maleka. Turner with that height, but well-timed jump by Macy Miller. She at one point was a Big Ten All-Freshman team honoree, the first for Indiana since 2013 when she received the accolade in 2016. Savage on the pass. Soderstrom able to score against DePaul for a 2nd consecutive year. Now Bowles will make her run. She passes up that left side. Jade Erickson-Russo. Step up on Kowalski, but Kowalski will send it out. For the Blue Demons, this will be their 2nd corner kick of the matchup. Jackie Batliner. Good flight. He had Parker. And Kowalski kicking it out of play. Moving up, you had Sydney Parker, 5'8" sophomore going airborne. Coming from a football family to Sydney Parker. Father played football at Eastern Illinois. Uncle played football at Division III Loras College. Another uncle ended up playing at Eastern Illinois as well, and then professionally with the Baltimore, then Indianapolis Colts. You have Sidney Parker, who kind of built like a linebacker back there in that back line for the Blue Demons. And then on set piece is quite the force, going airborne, and at times has been a focal point on those corner kicks, as you saw in that latest. Jade Erickson Russo. Getting boxed out by Kowalski. Erickson Russo is saying, hey, what do I got to do to get the ball? She's guilty of the foul, so a restart here. A game that sees Butler back to within one after they fell behind 2-0. Let both of these teams play following the latest collision. And Saipi into the first base dugout. Typically in the springtime here. Another goal kick for Stephanie Rodriguez. And for Rodriguez, only a matter of time. And the coaching staff, when they recruited her, knew she'd be an eventual starter, just waiting her time, making the most of her opportunities last year or so in learning from both Litke and Duga. A calming influence back there for Butler, and one of the things the coaching staff has been encouraging is for Rodriguez to be more vocal and starting to be a little more on the vocal side, also doing a better job of organizing that back line. Talking yesterday with co-head coach Rob Ullman, he said that that is one of the big things that she has done as the season's progressed, is her improvement has been organizing that back line, communicating better with her defense. Well, I see this hard foul against Schmidt. Jackie Batliner looking to test Rodriguez. Saipi, push in the box. That knocked Peyton Black down. Check that with Annika Schmidt. Let's see if we can pick it up off the Batliner free kick. Now there you see it was Schmidt who got knocked down. Schmidt last year first team all Big East selection, a second team all region as well. Some great pieces though back from that of last season. We look at the Butler defense and the setup. Again, a lot of the talk has been about the offense and the steps the attack has made. Very balanced. More of a threat this year. Miller, one of the reasons why. Molly Erickson.
High pressure back there. Let's go, White.
Now she too is back. In this case, it's been her second year as a starter. Coach Chastain feeling that Molly with a better presence. Looking to be that leader. Kind of a learning curve at the beginning of the season. Tough non-conference schedule, but starting to pick it up even more so as this season's progressed. After she had a great freshman year in which she compiled a 0.86 goals against average, tied for 5th in program history, a program that dates back to 1996. Bring all kinds of international experience though with her to DePaul. Schmidt. Kowalski. And knocked out here by Brooke Weitzel. Kowalski. Here's Savage. Nice job getting back for Maleka. Taking Miller out of the equation. See, Taylor Crow is out there. First time we've seen the junior midfielder out of Indiana. Played 53 minutes on Sunday at Seton Hall and started the first 3 games. But Over the last now 8, she has been one of the subs that's been utilized. We've not seen the Bulldogs go all that deep at all in this one after they had the luxury of a multi-goal lead on Sunday, ended up playing a total of 19. Leonard.
Get up.
Here's Black going across the way. Kowalski. Kloosterman. Back to Kowalski. Incoming with Bina Saipi. And to the far touchline with Soderstrom. Headed away by Weitzel. I'll find more of that possession here for the Bulldogs. Create some more dangerous opportunities right now. Limited to a total of 3 shots. Staley's on the board here. Not a single save credited to Molly Erickson. Soderstrom with the pass into the corner with Savage. Avery Hay on the markup. Savage will swing it. See one Bulldog that was in front being flanked by a pair. Taylor Crow getting knocked down on the foul is going to go against Morgan Turner. See, Turner came over and left cleat tripped up. Peyton Black. So Amanda Kowalski, strong range when it comes to passing. Quality passes even with that range. Quality set piece delivery, looking for a quality set piece right here. We play 12 second half minutes. On the service, goes wide. But Schmidt on that far side, lunging forward for Butler. So Schmidt for the Bulldogs with a last second effort. And the goal kick there by Erickson. As Saipi gets back up. Pass back by Jade Erickson-Russo. Again, she is the first goal of this game. A game that would see DePaul jump in front 2-0. Kristen Bowes, Morgan Turner, the goal scorers. And right before halftime, it was Katie Soderstrom on a rebound. Goal for Butler. And that's where we stand in this one. Conference matchup number 2 for both. As Butler looks to win at DePaul for the first time, and now 5 all-time meetings at this field. And DePaul again trying to avoid the 0-2 conference start. Haven't started 0-2 since 2010. This is a team that's predicted to finish 5th out of 10 in the Big East. Brought back. About 17-22 played last year. Off this corner, you had Parker. Flew over the head of Gaynor, who's still out there, filling in for Aaliyah Dean, who left this game with injury in the first half. Down the counter, here's a speed by Macy Miller. Against 3. And a stoppage here as the Blue Demons trying to go upfield with Jade Erickson-Russo, along with Morgan Turner. Restart for Julia Leonard. A little bit too quick for their own good. And now with Kloosterman taking down Saipi. Over Black in the pass that finds Leonard. Crow. Nice find. Shot was partially blocked. Black in the second effort. In front, Gaynor. Erickson came out to challenge. Erickson gets up and down goes Celia Gaynor. And a yellow card for Molly Erickson. So as Gaynor went to play the ball, colliding there with Erickson. Erickson knocking Gaynor down right in front of the official. Watch this sequence. They both and that challenge, and then see the shove there by Erickson, and the yellow card thereafter. Fourth given out to the Blue Demons this season. And so it goes against Molly Erickson after a quality opportunity which involved Peyton Black, and then Celia Gaynor in front. She has scored one time this season, which came in the season opener when she also had an assist. A 3-0 victory against Morehead State. A goal kick for Butler. 2-1 in favor of the Blue Demons. They will make a substitution. And DePaul brings Tierney in. And now the break here for Kristen Bowes. We'll see how long she stays out. Again, be not at 100%. Figures she'll come back in at some point, but it's been our first breather of this game outside of halftime. Tierney came out strong in her first and back in the first half. Will pick up an assist, her first point of this season. Now the fifth different Blue Demon with a point. Great find on the finish by Morgan Turner, which right now is the game-winning goal. See in the background, good sight for Butler fans that DePaul is about to sub back in. First time since the injury scare. Off Tierney. Side by side there with Soderstrom. Kowalski. Was knocked out there, you see, by Weitzel, so a throw in coming up. Well, clipped off a Bulldog. Weitzel right there to play the ball too for the Blue Demons. Back into the box, looking for a header, and Bina Saipi losing her balance. Aaliyah Dia now into the Butler 11, taking the spot of Celia Gaynor. The latest run for Saipi. She, along with Avery Hay, a couple of players that have been here, now going back since about 2016, bring that experience. Gonna find that pass here with Jade Erickson-Russo. Erickson-Russo gonna settle it now. Turner into the hands of Rodriguez. Nice sequence lately for DePaul after Butler with the better of the play prior to. Want to find that equalizer. These two teams, even with DePaul leading the all-time series history, and even with the advantage here at home over Butler, had some great battles. Only one meeting all time has been decided by more than a single goal between these two, and that was a 2-0 DePaul victory on this field back on the 11th of September in 2009. Pre-Big East days. They played 2008, 2009, then not again until they became conference foes in 2013. Every year since. Comes across. Kowalski looking to run it down. Tierney heads it. Jade Erickson. Russo there for DePaul. Now Tierney set away by Leonard. And the flag going up. But Leonard down for Butler. The Bulldogs put it back into play. Crow. She's been on Butler's radar for some time and had an interest in playing for Butler since she was in 5th grade, attended their summer soccer camps. Hit there, taken by Savage. But for Crow, I can remember Coach Terry St. John telling her that she would keep an eye on her. Little did Taylor know that she was serious. When it came time, Terry St. John approaching Taylor Crow and making that interest, that dream a reality, and becoming a Butler Bulldog. And here she is as a junior. Leonard. See Dean, who is not moving real fast. Trying to power through. Crow. Out of the Butler midfield. Crow. Dean.
Hold it. Hey, come on, she's pushing her.
Jade Erickson Russo commits the DePaul foul. Right there on the backside of Morgan Kloosterman.
That's not a yellow, they're standing still. That's a car.
So forcing DePaul to back up a little bit, give the necessary yardage. Annika Schmidt. She's been not only first team all conference last year, but the last couple of years all region. Last couple of years as well. This ball finding the stands. The Butler throwing here for Taylor Crow. Inside of 24 minutes left. Regulation. This Big East matchup between DePaul and Butler at Litchfield. For so many, this is a house of horrors. A lot of adjustment that needs to be made with, again, the sides of the field, the surrounding. It takes some time getting used to if you have never played here before. Certainly, from a communication standpoint, may at times have to get creative when, again, the L roars by. But it was one of those areas that the Butler coaching staff, yes, they have players that played here a couple of years ago, they downplayed it. Just one of those where, let's go out there and play. Not something to make a big deal about. Yes, maybe you bring it up, but don't overemphasize it. Batliner here against Kloosterman. And for Butler, this is their 3rd straight road game. They've been well traveled the last couple of weeks, playing in Utah, and heading to New Jersey and playing at Seton Hall. Now here they are in Chicago before finally they will be back home at the Selig Bowl on Sunday. Soderstrom on the Butler corner. Off the head of Black, headed out. Foreheaded back there by Dean. Savage. And the offside flag went up against Butler. Trying to go far post in that corner with Peyton Black. I was headed out of the goal area, and you saw Aliyah Dean trying to keep the attack alive. Dean, who was part of the German U17 national team that competed at the 2018 World Championships in Uruguay. Fluent in German, French, and English.
Got us out for the Blue Demons. Returning to game number 7, Kristen Bowes.
Bowes is back in.
Replacing Erickson.
So she was on the sideline for about 8 minutes or so. Hay gets back up. And now Kloosterman. That was off Saipi. Controlled here by Kloosterman. I should say that with a batliner in that midfield. And you also had Gwen Walker. Avery Hay. This is going to result in a throw-in coming forward to DePaul. That was Batliner. And off of Katie Soderstrom. Thus far in this second half, DePaul with 3 shots. They've allowed a total of 2. Overall, it's 9-4 Blue Demons on the shot line of the stat sheet. Last goal came right before halftime. It was a rebound putback for Katie Soderstrom, cutting what was a 2-goal deficit. Only the second time that Butler has fallen behind 2-0 this season. Last time they ended up losing 2-1. Trying to avoid that same fate here this afternoon. Erickson will bring it in. That was Dean who was making a break for the ball. A big difference too right now in the foul category. It was 6-3 DePaul at halftime. It's right now 13-4. 7-1 DePaul in fouls here out of halftime. Round Turner. Foul's not a huge story. Last year when these teams met at the Selig Bowl, it was 13-9 DePaul. Each team had 1 yellow card handed out. The players are no longer on the active rosters. Monahan for Butler, and then Madeline Frick for DePaul, one of the 2 key losses from last year, along with Franny Cerny, who was a first-team All-Big East honoree. Schmidt. Savage. Punishing blow here. A yellow card handed out.
Wow, that's only check the video review. Wow.
Second yellow against the Blue Demons. Or I should say this is second of the game, 1 on each side. And that was Sydney Parker of the Blue Demons who got taken down by Savage. For Butler, their 7th yellow card. So that will stop the clock. With Parker back to her feet. Well, hey fans, the Big East Student Athlete Advisory Committee has partnered with the Headstrong Foundation to raise funds and awareness. Founded by former Hofstra lacrosse student athlete Nick Culley-Laurie, the Headstrong Foundation offers financial, residential, and emotional support to families affected by cancer. Culley-Laurie was diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and passed away in 2006. To learn more about the Headstrong Foundation, to donate, you can visit www.bigeast.com/headstrong. Well, Sydney Parker showing some strength, getting back up and able to walk on her own power following a punishing blow from Anya Savage, who was issued the yellow. So both teams now with a yellow in this one, much like last year's get together. And you see Maleka taking the spot of the injured, at least shook up Parker. Kloosterman to Dia. On the run here by Macy Miller. That's off and sent out. Let's see, Parker's back out there. So because of the injury, stoppage had to come off the field and came back on once play resumed.
Gretchen Scotland and number 15, Celia Gaynor.
The change here for Butler with Gretchen Skoglund into the lineup.
Taking a kick for the Bulldogs, number 5, Amanda Kowalski.
And now this corner for Kowalski. And headed out. You had Savage going airborne for the Bulldogs. So it appears right now, at least at this juncture in the matchup, a breather here for Katie Soderstrom, getting her a break before the stretch run. The Blue Demons about to make another substitution in a moment. Here is Maleka. Headed out off the head of Morgan Kloosterman. DePaul with a corner, and now the Blue Demons making that substitution that we'll see Jade Erickson Russo sub back in.
Replacing Tierney. It'll be a corner kick for DePaul. Jackie Batliner in the kick.
A corner here for Batliner. There's a look at Sydney Parker at a lead, but is now back out there after got knocked down, had the wind knocked out of her. Well, Butler Bulldog getting knocked down, drawing the whistle, and a DePaul foul. Schmidt, the shook up Bulldog. She's been down a couple of times in this matchup. She went airborne. Guess who? A Sydney Parker right there. Or back bothering Schmidt. Put back into play here by Stephanie Rodriguez. To some degree, they've allowed both teams to play. Yes, there have been fouls. There have been some hard fouls, though, when we've heard the whistle blow. A couple of injury stoppages, a few of those now between these two, but again, last we saw, and you see in the background, the 13-4 foul differential. That hasn't been updated in a little bit, but upwards of 14, 15 fouls now gone against the Blue Demons. A yellow card per side with Molly Erickson, the yellow card recipient for the Blue Demons, and then Anya Savage, the yellow for Butler. 15 minutes left. Regulation. 2-1 Blue Demons looking for their first conference win in 2 tries. Butler trying to avoid a 1-1 start. They come in number 5 in the latest East Regional rankings, a team that came into the season receiving votes for the top 25 national rankings after spending 3 weeks in the top 25 and climbing to as high as 22nd a year ago. Turner, as it sits right now, has what would be her second game-winning goal of the year. Saipi going back after it. Off the slide there by Bowes. Got a good piece of Julia Leonard. And she's down now for the Bulldogs. Athletic trainer will come out and tend to Julia Leonard. After you had Kristen Bowes, got a good piece of Leonard when trying to keep that ball alive for the Blue Demons. That's the other thing too, and you saw it with Schmidt going down. You see it here where wasn't necessarily a foul, but against a hard collision, which resulted in another injury stoppage.
Conference game this Sunday. DePaul women's team will be taking on St. John's at 1 o'clock. Right here at Wish Field again Sunday, 1 o'clock. Big East Conference action.
Just over 14 minutes left here in this second half. DePaul with a 2-1 lead after getting a goal from Kristen Bowes and then Morgan Turner. Katie Soderstrom getting Butler on the board right before halftime, and that's where we stand as we are late here at Wish Field. Looks like right now Julie Leonard about to get back to her feet. But about to be replaced. You would think in the Butler 11, although you would have said the same thing about Sydney Parker with the hit she took from Savage, but went out, took in some water, and came right back onto the field of play. And even though you have Leonard jogging under her own power off the field, it appears, again, she will sub right back onto the field on the fly once the ball is put back into play. And indeed, she will, as Rodriguez with this restart. So even with some of the hard collisions, even with some of the injury stoppages, we've seen players that have gone down with the ability to come back and return. In this case, again, Leonard back out there after we saw Sydney Parker a few minutes ago in the same boat. Maleka. And now the Bulldogs will take over first a substitution. We will see Soderstrom after a quick, short breather take the spot here of Gaynor. She is the goal scorer for Butler. Now with 5, just behind Savage, who has 6. 6 goals right now for Savage's 4th in the Big East. She's been limited with the quality of touches in the attacking third. Kowalski. Weitzel. And Batliner. As Bowes got a piece. Here she's with possession, and Bowes. Well, chip kick it ahead. Turner. And Butler will play it out. Skoglund able to keep it in. Savage marked up on by Maleka. Crow. Fake out Turner. Build his attack out of the back now. Up the right wing. Kowalski. Overcame Gwen Walker. Pass goes to Macy Miller. With some space to maneuver. Miller winds up. That's exactly what Butler's been looking to do. That's what they've been doing here this season. Out of the back, up the wings. In this case, getting Macy Miller involved. Had some spacing, able to wind up. Her shot carried behind the goal. That hasn't been there all that often, those kind of passes, but even that wing play. That's credit to the Blue Demon defense. There was a quick burst to start the game for Butler, and thereafter, DePaul able to settle it. Jade Erickson-Russo. Of the 5 Butler shots, only 1 has been on goal. It's gone in. Skoglund. Leonard. And a Blue Demons foul and a quick Butler restart, trying to catch DePaul off guard. Left here for Taylor Crow. Trying to force it around Sydney Parker. Never did graze a Blue Demon, so a goal kick here for DePaul. We near 10 minutes left here in regulation. After this, the Blue Demons prepare for St. John's Sunday. That game at 2 p.m. Eastern, right back here on the Big East Digital Network. before the team will hit the road for a couple of matchups at Providence at Villanova. Butler returns home Sunday to take on Villanova before next Thursday at Creighton. One of their big matchups on the horizon coming away October 20th against Georgetown here on the Big East Digital Network at 1 p.m. Eastern. Stephanie Rodriguez able to get rid of it. Now Walker on the pass. Turner. Foul here against Taylor Crow. Now she tries to plead her case, and valuable time continuing to tick away. DePaul in no hurry. Maleka. Well, far side was stopped. On that backside with Leonard. Down was Bowes, and then a couple of players get taken out. They continue to play on. Angling in is Miller against Parker, able to maintain her footing and possession for that matter. Getting turned around though, Soderstrom, and now they whistle and DePaul foul, letting the sequence play out. That's a late foul. Opportunity here for the Bulldogs. Late stages at Wish Field. Chance here from Anna Kowalski, showing off that strong leg. Kowalski going far side. Erickson brings it in. Savage over the top side. On the push, trying to go airborne and get some leverage in knocking down Gwen Walker. With that shove, as Savage got a piece right at Erickson. But piggybacking off of Gwen Walker to try to create that opportunity. Right now in the Big East, another game going on. Georgetown with a 2-0 lead. Second half at Villanova. That also can be seen right now on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi. Everything else will get underway at about 7 Eastern tonight. With Seton Hall at St. John's, Creighton at Xavier, and then at 8 Eastern, it's Providence at Marquette. Again, all three of those matches can also be seen right here on the Big East Digital Network. Conference play takes a break till Sunday. Leonard. So right now the Hoyas in a pretty good spot to win a 6th consecutive matchup and give Villanova their first conference defeat. Tierney is in.
Replacing Weitzel.
Butler having to wait, but looking to make a substitution too. Waiting to sub in Alyssa Yarish. And now let go by Rodriguez. Leonard looking ahead. Skoglund foul. That goes against Bina Saipi. Clock gets stopped after DePaul. Got to back up and wasting some time. Savage. There against Saipi, able to pass it off. Kowalski. Saipi. Off the clearance. You have Bowles on the run. Getting some backup now, and Jade Erickson and Russo. Leave it back here at Tierney. Into the corner here against Annika Schmidt. Kowalski. Some frustration there by Kowalski. Substitution here that we'll see. Yarish for the first time in. This is her 5th match appearance. Also played Sunday for about 24 minutes at Seton Hall. Part of the season. She had played 12 games as a freshman, only 1 game between her sophomore and junior seasons. Strong in the air is Yarish at 5'8". Homecoming to Swords to New Jersey for her on Sunday. They have another yellow coming out, and indeed, yellow's been handed out to Skoglund. 3rd yellow card in the matchup, 2nd against Butler.
Let's go, Quinny!
The Bulldogs 8th on the year. Bowes. Looking forward. Takes a shot that one hops into the hands of Rodriguez. Stay tuned following this matchup. We'll be joined by one of the players of the match here on the Big East Digital Network. And following all the match action, Butler trying to extend this one. Erickson will pick it up upon the pressure applied by Skoglund. Again, the numbers have Erickson with 0 saves, as Butler's been limited to a single shot on goal, 5 shots overall. DePaul has doubled them up. 10 shots, 6 of which have been on target. It's a second half that has seen 4 DePaul shots, 3 for the Bulldogs. Now with that sense of urgency, as they're approaching 3 minutes left in this second half. Soderstrom on the throw, and that finds Kloosterman. On this outside, Skoglund against Turner. This will be a corner. This is where, again, the addition of Yarish becomes important. Another nice target to have at 5'8". Soderstrom on the corner. 6th of the matchup for Butler. And Soderstrom going far side. The Bulldogs were hoping for a foul to no avail. And Peyton Black, who airborne for Butler. And see if she's got a case. Lunges toward the ball, and not sure there's much she could have done there. Avery Hay on that backside for DePaul. But right now, Butler getting organized. We're down to a couple minutes left here in regulation. Bounces off there to Hay. Second effort that time by Saipi, and Kloosterman. And a pickup here for Erickson. Molly Erickson and DePaul trying to pick up their first victory since September 12th. And their first victory here at home now in 6 tries. Bowes. Batliner will roll out of play. Some more great time will tick away. She takes her time, they stop the clock. Rodriguez playing up. Macy Miller. He closes Bulldog, and now with Peyton Black. Break to the outside, Butler got enough of it. Miller having to go back after it, gets tripped up. And then on the strike by Kloosterman, here's a delayed foul. Clock still ticking. Looking for a soccer ball anywhere. That clock's still in motion. Now they will stop it. Off the scramble to get the ball back into play. And now again, the Blue Demons wall will be backed up the necessary yardage for this free kick for Anya Savage. So a chance here with 21 seconds left in regulation. It's been 2-1 since the first half.
I don't know why.
Erickson will pick it up. Will fall on top of the ball. And again, more valuable time will tick away, and that should be just about it on this Thursday.
9,
Erickson gets rid of it.
7, 6, 5.
And DePaul, with their first conference win of the year in 2 tries, knock off Butler by a 2-1 score, up in their record to 4-5-2, 1-1 in league play. Now 1-3-2 here at home. Butler falls to 6-4-1, 1-1 in league play, and now 3-3-1 in true road matchups, as DePaul is now 4-0-1 all-time at home over the Bulldogs. Final score, 2-1 behind a game-winning goal by Morgan Turner. We'll come back with our part of the match as we continue here from Whitfield. You're tuning in to Big East Women's Soccer on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't, driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants have played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with a passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
and you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't, driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants have played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with a passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
and you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Welcome back to Whitfield. A victory for the DePaul Blue Demons, knocking off the Butler Bulldogs by the final score of 2-1. Kristen Bowe is our guest, coming through with the first goal of this matchup. Describe that first goal, your thoughts on the finish.
Yeah, I think it was a great team build-up, and I've been working real hard, and our team has been working real hard, and we came out with a great goal. It started off strong.
You missed the conference opener with injury. How did you feel today?
I felt really fresh. I got some subs, and our team we did well. And the times that I could get on the field, I was proud, and hopefully put in some good work.
I know you get the opportunity to play in that conference opener, but I know there's a little bit of disappointment even with the shot advantage, but falling 2-0 against Creighton. What was the mindset coming into this one in that whole rebound effort?
Yeah, I think the rebound was really great, and our energy coming into this game was different than going into Creighton. And I think, again, it was just as a whole, as a team, we went over that Creighton game and that loss, and then we just turned the page, and brought out the win here.
Yeah, what was the game plan coming in? Because Butler known for their offense, or at least this year they've been known for their offense, and for the most part, you guys shut them down from start to finish.
Yeah, high pressure. Aaron Chastain, put it in our heads before coming in here and said high pressure, and it worked. We came out with a W.
You're one of the freshmen that certainly is getting a lot of notice here around the Big East. How's the transition been from the prep level to the collegiate game?
Yeah, totally different, a lot different, but a high level, and I enjoy it so much. The players around me, playing with Bina Saipi and her experience has been just phenomenal, and I really have enjoyed it.
Just finally then, you look at the duration of this game, kind of what was the energy like? What was the mood like? What was it like to be out there in the final 10 minutes or so when Butler's in more of a desperation mode and you guys are able to find a way to hang on?
Very intense, a lot of tackles, a lot of very hard, tough plays, but again, our team was prepared and our mentality was strong.
Well, congrats on the victory. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kristen Bowles, our guest, as the DePaul Blue Demons get their first conference victory of the season and knock off the Butler Bulldogs by the final score of 2-1. That will do it for our game broadcast here from Wishfield. Thanks to our entire crew behind the scenes. Matt Mitchell saying so long and good night. You've been tuning in to continuing coverage of Big East women's soccer on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.